the crack.
Set for a start in this second half. We've got half a commentary team assembled. They're slowly making their way back after the halftime break. As Paul Semitsides just downs his fourth hot dog of the afternoon.
$4 hot dog with cheese, mate. You can't go wrong.
Lovely people at Bayswater here have looked after us a treat this afternoon. Obviously supporting them this afternoon, doing a fantastic job hosting finals once again in Division 1.
Just watching BWS just below us at the balcony. The game's probably about 30 seconds from getting underway. He knows full well what's going on, not having a bar of it. All
right, I'll take the first 10 minutes.
The broadcast manager of the Essendon Football League, not interested.
All set for a start. Second half action here. Choose tap qualifying final in Division 1. Nice tap there from Taylor for Vermont. Gets it away, although Stephen cuts it off and gets the kick outside the centre square. Up towards half forward, nothing really presenting. Good work from McCarthy, just takes the contact and leaves it there. Nice tackle there from Sam Goodman.
Another good edition of the Pie Shed halftime show, Dyson.
It was perfect, the Pie Shed halftime show. We did go to a break at some stage during it, but we'll work out the kinks as we go forward towards the grand final. As Haining goes forward, looking in the Schilling direction, can't find him. John's been good off half-back so far. Nice kick there from Garthwaite, didn't mean it, but he gained about 20 metres. Sam Goodman, inside forward 50 for Montrose. Looks like Hoare will be the first one to meet it, can't quite take the mark. Taking the contact there was Beninga, and he's held up 45 out from his own goal.
Seems to be the scoring end, this one, the left of screen, the Canterbury Road end, obviously only a couple of quarters into it. Not a breath of wind, but it just seems like sides are finding their way forward a little bit easier down there. There's
about a minute gone, although the clock says 30 minutes gone. It hasn't been reset since the start of the, the end of the last term. It started at 29:09, just so everyone knows we're on the same page. Great work there from Langdon, found a bit of space, gave a handball off to Goodman of the drive variety, gets his handball off to Causa. Causa, ugly floater kick, but it might find its target, doesn't quite do so, doesn't bounce for Watson, and he's held up once again.
Just panic city from Causa there, it was in an absolute paddock of space, and just kicked it without looking.
So, ball thrown up, 50 out, nice tap from Taylor, straight though, Stephen though, and his kick wasn't flush, he's turned it over and Rory Lehman takes possession. Lehman.
They need the first one at least.
Exactly right. Kicks to the outer side. Looks like Johnson. Johnson up the line. Can't quite find his target. Looks like Deneen out there. Hard up against the boundary line. First one to meet it here will be Dylan Rickard. Rickard short. Tough kick, but he's found its target, and Jai Goodman marks. Plays on, puts himself under a bit of pressure. Probably didn't need to do so. Then puts a teammate under pressure there in Scott. They finally work it out. They're just making things hard for themselves. Rickard. Nice defensive work just to try and hold it up on centre wing. Still trying to push forward there, Bell. And now, once again, they break the deadlock. Deneen gets it off to Taylor. The big man doesn't really know what to do, but he finds Justin Van Unen, who takes it on the fourth grab, and right on the paint of 50 can line up for his third of the afternoon.
You know, maybe it's a situation like Montrose have done extremely well this year playing football of the intensity of First Division normal season. They're suddenly playing their first final in First Division, and at the tempo is certainly up. They look like they're under pressure a lot more when they get the football. Their decision making is not as clear. That could be the difference as to why they're turning the football over as much.
For goal number 3 in the first of the second half, Justin Van Unen. Looks a bit of a helicopter off the boot, but it's gone straight through the middle. And Justin Van Unen has 3 goals to keep forward for the Vermont Football Club. And he moves his side on to 9-5-59. They lead Montrose 5-4-34. We've gone 2 minutes in this third term. Early stages on EFL Game Day, Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
Well, that really hurts that goal now because, you know, they had the ball, they had control, they turned it over with a full possession.
12-point play, the one you don't get and the one that they do.
Yep. And Van Unen's a bit of a key at the moment. They've given him lots of space.
Maybe early, but 25 points is a few danger signs there as Stevens up and under kick. Haining was the big man that went after it. Johnson came in, but Vermont have the spoils. The kick goes out towards the Emily direction, had to trap it on the half volley, did so. turned back inside and kicked it up towards the half-forward line. That was fantastic. John's on the right boot, set sail for goal from outside 50 metres. He brings it back. Sensational kick there by Lachlan Johns. That's his second goal of the afternoon, and Vermont have gone bang, bang at the 3.5-minute mark of this third term. 10-5-65 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, and Montrose 5-4-34.
How do they find that much space at half forward?
Not only that, that was a 1.5-step kick, and he's kicked it.
And he's 4 foot tall.
Oh, that is a magnificent kicker. But you're right. Look, this is danger time now. Now Montrose have got to get back, get their hands on the football, get clean, get it into their forward half, and hopefully get a mark and goal.
Update thanks to the local Burger Co. Park Orchards, 3 goals in 7 minutes. As Johns, can he line up for 2 in the space of 30 seconds? Sends it home, Lockie Johns. You're a superstar, the third on the board for him. And Vermont just starting to open this game up. We knew it would break open at some point. And Vermont 11-5-71 lead Montrose 5-4-34. Just when you thought the first one was good, Brett Davidson.
That was better. that was a quality goal. He knew what to do. But to nail it from outside 50 the way he does was just fantastic.
What do you reckon they're saying in the middle? Get it to Johnsy.
Yeah, go straight back there. But you have a look right now. There's no centre half forward for Vermont. That space 60 metres out from goal. There's just an absolute paddock. And Chris Barton's smart enough to stay left, and the half forward flankers are staying out of the middle, and they're just making for some easy shots on goal going forward for Vermont.
So another clearance it looks like here for the Eagles. Good tackle there by Johnson. Johns goes in, little throw. Johnson handball was okay. Across the half forward line, Causa went in hard, got wrapped up in a tackle though, and will have a bounce. 55 metres out from Montrose goals.
As I was saying before, in Division 4, thanks to the local Burger Co. Park Orchards, kicked the first 3 goals in the first 7 minutes. Warrandyte lead cut to 13 points.
Game on out at Walker Park, that's for sure. Kick up towards the wing position. Johnson came in, little handball. Eventually ends up with Garthwaite. Handball over to Causa, who knocked it on towards the Goodman direction. Went in pretty hard, but didn't win the contest, though. They've got the answers, don't they, the Vermont Football Club? John's the man at the moment, gets it up to Wilcox. Across the half-forward line now, the Eagles. It's again peppering. The kick was a little bit skewy. Van Unen worked his way to the front fantastically and then wanted to give the Donaghy. Got the little kick away, a little bit too much purchase on it. And Rickard was there to mop up the scrums. The crumbs, I should say. The scrums. And he kicks it out towards Causa. Bounces favourably for him. Might go backwards here just for the safety of it. Does so. Garthwaite takes the mark. So Manny Langton puts on a lead on the near side, but his eyes are fixated on the far side. So Jack Garthwaite, 1 bounce, make that 2. Switches the play out towards the half-back line on the far side of the ground. The kick wasn't too crash up, but Lindgren was there. Emily would like to see him over the boundary line and gives him just a nice little nudge to do just that, and we'll have a boundary throw in 50 metres out from goal.
They've lost all their confidence with their disposal at the moment, Montrose, because their last 3 kicks have all missed their target.
They haven't been a great options either. Their decision-making seems to be poor as well.
Deneen, handball, got chopped off there by Johnson, away to Causa, snaps it out of that danger zone. He was looking for Petrarca, nicely done there by Lehman, just to force the stoppage, and over she goes. 71 plays 34 out here in the qualifying final, Bayswater Oval. If you're enjoying the Choose Tap final series so far on 98.1 Radio Eastern and streaming live on efl.org.au. Ripper day for football. Beninga, bit of a hospital handball. Barry Murphy's in there, so too is Rickard. Stacks on the mill and expect the umpire to come in and bounce it.
Bit of a lull now that Vermont have kind of kicked away early.
Yeah, it's, you know, you're just not seeing what Montrose can do to get out of this.
Taylor, a handy knockout. Pardon me, he'll get the 1-2 here. The big man doing the roving work as well. The kick goes inside forward 50. Van Unen was in the front spot. Bird was there as well. Nicely picked up by Henley. He's just all class. Nathan Henley over the top of the goal umpire's head it goes, and that's his 3rd. They're sharing it around. Johns, Van Unen and Nathan Henley all with 3 apiece. Bendigo Bank scoreboard at the 9-minute mark of this 3rd term. 12-5-77 plays 5-4-34.
That's what you do in when you're coaching drill, that one there.
Yep.
Front man down, punch comes down, turns around, kicks a goal. It's not rocket science, just played it very, very well.
Just around the ground, thanks to the local Burger Co. at Jubilee Park. Templestowe kicked the last 2 of the quarter to be 6 points down at half-time against Baronia. 4-4-28 to 5-4-34.
Hayning grabbed it out of the ruck, gave it away to Stephen, who gave it away to Johnson. Inside forward 50. And nice from back position. Looked like Cassidy gets it away.
Oh, yeah.
Says bring it back.
It's going to be a Vermont free kick.
They're not just they're not changing anything up, Montrose. They're not trying anything. They've gone with the same setup in the forward half. They're not playing out of space. They're not giving space. They're just hoping that things will turn around.
So it'll be McCarthy who kicks out wide. Just assessing his options. There is Froud on the outer side. That's not Froud. Just trying to work forward Vermont at the moment. Nice work to try and find Chadwick. Although it's cut off. Stephen, can he swoop on this one? Gave a handball to Johnson. Put him under a fair bit of pressure. The coach gets around it. Swings on the right, on the left boot and sends that one home. Exactly what the Montrose Football Club needed. Just one to get that margin back ever so slightly. And they move on to 6-4-40. Still a considerable lead of 37 points. Vermont 12-5-75 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
They still seem to be a little bit rattled. Dean Stephen didn't need to give that ball to Brett Johnson. He had an open goal square anyway. He was on the right boot. Could have just had a shot at goal. Put Brett Johnson under a little bit of pressure. Lucky he handballed to his coach, a former VFL superstar who was good enough to swing around on the boot and finish that one off. But anyone else, it might have been a different result, and they sold themselves into too much trouble. They've got to get back to basics.
37 points is the margin. Bird goes up. Goodman came in. Handball out towards the Stevens direction. Handball back to Goodman. Bangs it on his boot up towards the half-forward line, or hung up a fair bit in the end, so we're still inside the centre square. Good tackle there by Causa. And Mullet at the bottom of the pack, as we've seen so often over a long time in Division 1 football. Hands it back to the umpire. So Hayning, Bird go up in the ruck. Barden, the fall of the ball. Dropped it. Mullet, good tackle there, and we'll have a bounce. Been impressed with Causa's game today. Certainly goes in hard.
Around the grounds, thanks to the local burger code North Ringwood. 8-6-54 lead Croydon, 2-5-17, 30 minutes gone, third 10.
So the top of the table, North Ringwood, stamping a bit of authority out there at Tormore Reserve today. As are the Vermont Football Club out here at Bayswater Oval. 37-point lead. Hayning trying to get his side back into the match. Tim Johnson on the left boot, swings it out towards the Paul Chadwick direction. Bouncing football, just needs to sit up for him. Eventually he's able to trap it. Gets around Scott on the right boot up towards the half-forward line. Goodman will come in to chop things off. That's Jai on the right boot. Slams it up towards the Garthwaite direction. Standing in front spot though was Hall. It was a good mark, that one. They're just looking for options in the forward line and waiting for players to get back. So he kicks it towards the Schilling direction. The big man will have to fly. Nice knock on over the back there by Castricum. It was as good as a kick in the end. Bouncing football over the boundary line. She goes right near that Bendigo Bank scoreboard at the 13-minute mark. 77 plays 40. Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap Match Stats.
Inside 50s this quarter, 7-6 in favour of Vermont. Surprisingly, Montrose leading the clearances 8-6.
So Hoare and Bird over the back there. Hayning got the knockdown. Goodman. So Sam on the left boot. Just trying to create a little bit of space here, and he just did adjust that. Good mark taken by Causa, who just mentioned a few moments ago, really putting his hand up for his side today. Ricky Causa yet to kick a goal.
Brad Henderson loves Ricky Causa. He just thinks his work rate just in and around the ground is fantastic, and he's the sort of player who will bob up for 20, 25 touches, and you would have barely have noticed him, but he just does the little things.
Well, to make it 2 in a row for Montrose and get themselves back in this game inch by inch. But you've got to kick these ones. They're important. He's not going to make the distance. Pushes it to the right-hand side and eventually rush through for one behind. Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 14 minutes gone, third quarter. They call it the premiership quarter, and it is Vermont by 6 goals, 12-5-77 to 6-5-41.
Nice kick out there from Millhouse, goes wide. Couldn't quite find his target, but they'll get out of jail here. Mullet just puts on the afterburners, left the ball behind though. Hayning swoops on it, gives away to Goodman. Goodman loads up from 50 metres out. It's going to sit right, and it's going to sit way right. And through for one behind. 6-6-42 Montrose, 12-5-77 Vermont. Bendigo Bank scoreboard. You're listening to AFL Game Day. It's the Eagles and the Demons. Short chip kick finds Johnson. Johnson, 25 out from his defensive goal, gives to his skipper and Ryan Mullet. We already ran with that news of Buddy Franklin out of the Sydney-Richmond game before. More importantly, Predo marks at half-back for Vermont. Kicks out wide to centre wing, Barry Murphy. Done that a fair few times over the years. Barry Murphy up the line. Tries to find Frouts, swooping on it now with half a chance to pick it up here again. Can't quite do so. Ball spills over the boundary line and out of bounds right on this pain of attacking 50.
That was just clever the way he did that. Let his player under the football, let the ball go over the top, nearly ran onto it. It's just that's what class footballers are able to do.
Might cross boundary side shortly. Haven't heard much out of our life care boundary riders this afternoon.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Having a lovely conversation down there in the interchange steward's box. There's about 4 changes happening in front of them. We haven't heard anything all day.
No injuries as yet, Dyson.
That's what we like to hear. Ball inside forward 50. It's going to sit up nicely for Van Noonen. Got held. Now he's at half a chance to pick it up once again. A little bit of a frustrated push there as the ball goes over the boundary line. We've played 14 minutes here in the 15 minutes here in the third term. It's Vermont 12-5-77, Montrose 6-6-42. We'll cross to our Choose Tap stats man just shortly, but we might go to our life care boundary rider, Aaron Kirkby radio.
Guys, you want something? I've just picked up a blade of grass and there's no change in the wind direction.
Thanks very much,
Matthew Lloyd.
as Langdon picks it up on half-back, gets around Chadwick. Now a short chip kick. Was accurate enough to find a teammate. Now they've got sprawling through the middle of the ground. Goodman gets it, put himself under a bit of pressure, kicks to a 2-on-1. Not a smart move. Johnson. And now they're away. McCarthy short, turns it over. Ricky Corsa has it centre wing commentary side.
Corsa got Bell short. Will eventually receive the handball there from Telford. Swings around now, David Bell. Set sail towards the top of the goal square. One-on-one situation. Schilling knocked away from him and rushed through for another behind. So that's their 7th on the board, the Montrose Football Club. They are 6 goals, 7-43 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 12-5-77 Vermont. So a few chances in the last 5 or 6 minutes for Montrose, which they'll be disappointed with because they could have found themselves a lot closer. Henley gets it out towards the Johns direction, who set the game alight early in this third term. Short passes on. It's good. Wilcox on the right boot. Leading out and taking the mark is Barry Murphy. Far side of the ground out here at Bayswater. They'll square it up to true centre half forward where Taylor was the big flyer at the back of the pack. Scott was be the man to pick it up. Oh, Bernie Deneen was right on his hammer, went in hard and put his head over the football and won the free kick. It was, well, I'm not going to say it was soft, it was Tiggy Touchwood, but if you want the football, you've got to go in as hard as Bernie Deneen does.
I tell you what, if anyone's going to get a free kick like that, it's Bernie. Just the way he goes about it, he knows how to milk them pretty well.
So Bernie kicked 1 goal this afternoon. We saw that in the first term, a snap around the body. This time he'll go for the old traditional drop punt, 40 metres out from goal. The goal umpire does not move, and the celebrations begin. That's his 2nd goal. 19 minutes almost gone here in the third term, and it's a 40-point lead to the Vermont Football Club. 13 goals, 5-83 to 6-7-43 on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard.
It still doesn't feel like a 40-point margin. I mean, Vermont have got on top, I think only in patches, David, but they've been good enough in those patches to string together 3 or 4 consecutive goals.
And they're good goals. Like they've kicked a lot of long goals, so whereas Montrose is still kicking those snap goals. I love their setup. Look at that setup in their forward line. They're running the classic U, where there's nobody from basically 60 metres in front of the goal. It's just fantastic.
North Ringwood have kicked 2 in a minute. Daniel Wood ran into an open goal, snags another one. North Ringwood 73, plays Croydon 17 midway through the third term out at Veronia.
Thanks to the local Burger Co.
Thanks to the local Burger Co, of course.
Oh, that is just super play. Bernie Deneen causing a spoil there and following it up with a tackle. Fantastic stuff.
That's reminiscent of the days when he won all those medals.
Yep.
That sort of play, fantastic to see.
Ball tapped down, good work there from Haining. Gets it away to Goodman. Although they'll turn it over once again. But the contest ensues. Out on centre wing, Ryan Mullett just sticks on the afterburners, finds a bit of space. Kick was smothered, still in contest. Not really going anywhere. Goodman's finally found a bit of space. Gets a short chip kick. Nice work from Stephen, just put his body on the line. And there'll be a free kick going the way of Stephen. Get out of jail free there for Dean Stephen. But Montrose will get the ball. Inside forward 50 now. Schilling, the target, couldn't quite find him. Ball spilled over the back of the pack. Right in front of Mr. Whippy, next to the scoreboard, which reads a 40-point lead in favour of Vermont. Cross boundary side, thanks to Life Care, Damien Watson.
Yes, Dyson, Steve Cochran has emerged from the Vermont coaches box and is looking pretty vocal down there on the bench, so it's good to see.
Thanks for that update. Starting to find some form, both of our Life Care boundary riders. Johnson gets it away. That was a throw. His other arm was being held. Umpire snap came around the body. Sam Goodman's pretty happy with that one. Umpire's happy with that one. Waiting on confirmation. There it is. And not done with yet are the Montrose Football Club. 7-7-49. Vermont 13-5-83. Into time on third term here on AFL Game Day.
And that's one of the things that you've got to be pretty impressed with Montrose. They haven't thrown it in. They haven't given up completely. They just keep working and working. That's probably the difference between the two sides. They're very workmanlike, whereas Vermont have got a little bit more extra class.
But that's the thing, and it looks like Vermont is still trying to suffocate Montrose. I mean, the ball was deep inside their forward 50. Simon Taylor at full forward had moved right up to the centre circle. So I think that's the game plan now for Vermont. Now they've got this lead, just strangle the Demons. Don't give them enough air to breathe.
This game might be close, but I'll tell you what, there's one definitely closer at Walker Park at the moment.
Ain't close, mate.
I was trying to make a decent segue. 38 points apiece, 26 minutes gone. Third term out at Walker Park between the Bloods and the Sharks.
Game on. Matty Langdon has the ball in the centre square. Wants to move it on. Handball over the top to Stephen. Back to Langdon. They're mucking around with it a little bit here. Reed came in to lend some support. Beninga, Nathan Henley picked it up. He was wrapped up in a tackle by Beninga and brought to ground. And Geordie Buckingham will bounce the football right in front of us here on the members' side. Restart. Haining went up unattended then, knocked it down. Jai Goodman's in there, gets the little handball away to his brother and Sam, who was ripped down in a fantastic tackle. It was unrewarded from Chadwick, but he's an imposing figure, Paul Chadwick. So, well, there was a non-officiating umpire who's come in and said it was a little bit crude. So Sam Goodman on the left boot. Kicks the ball inside forward 50. It was a 3-on-1 situation. Lehman came over for the spoil, but a free kick's been paid to Montrose, holding on Johnson. So Brett Johnson, who's already kicked 2 goals.
No one in the square.
If he can fair old Rooster football too. A bit of a hop, skip and a jump towards the Garthwaite direction. That's a strong mark. He was in between 2 players and quite sizable opponents as well, and stood strong in the contest. Fantastic.
Chadwick and Barden just straight stop one another. That's good if you're a weak salesman.
Grant Campbell, thanks to Choose Tap.
Montrose this quarter, 32 kicks, 35 handballs. Vermont, on the other hand, have had 35 kicks and only the 14 handballs. So are Montrose handballing too much this quarter?
Well,
that's a very good question.
Certainly not kicking enough goals, but this will help them on their way. Jack Garthwaite, utility player, can play back or forward, and he kicked it like a backman, squeezed it through for a behind in the end. And the Bendigo Bank scoreboard, 23 minutes gone in this third term. Montrose, they're trailing by 33 points. 7-8-50, plays 13-5-83 as we cross down boundary side, thanks to Life Care.
Boys, as I predicted earlier on, the interchange rotations have increased markedly as the game wears on with the warm conditions. So it'll be interesting to see how tired the players are as the game continues.
We've sparked them into life, Ben Warren Smith. Great work from Johnson, takes a second bounce, runs down centre wing on the outer side, bombs it into an open forward 50. It's going to go hard up against the boundary line. Still manages to stay in now. It goes out of bounds in front of Brendan Gardle. And in front of Davis Harrigan doing a bit of photography on the outer side of the ground.
Paparazzi.
So ball to be
Scary paparazzi.
Thrown in right on the paint of 50. Be Haining and Taylor once again, as they have done all day. Once again, a 0-all draw. That's been one of the things this afternoon that's really got me, is just that genuine contest every time they go, both of them go up in the ruck.
But I've noticed Taylor and Bird a lot, especially more so around the ground. I don't think I've noticed Andrew Haining as much this afternoon, and I've seen some games where that bloke has absolutely dominated.
I think all the big men have really been a bit quiet. They've been good at the contest, but around the ground, I don't think either of them have done much. It's been the small players that have had a lot more influence on the game today.
Ball thrown up once again. This time Haining gets the tap down. Although a kick came out, looked like Reed inside forward 50. No real mark presenting. Montrose held it up about 15 metres round from their defensive goal.
Daniel Reid, the fluoro yellow boots, absolutely blinding. Gone with the same as JVU, so maybe got the same boot sponsor, those two.
Ball thrown up once again. Third man up, got the punch away. Now a chance, a shot on goal. Looks like Ash Brown, and he's put that one on the board. Another goal on the board for Ash Brown. He kicks his second, and that's not what you want to see. It was almost a little bit of a comeback here from Montrose, but that'll just stem the flow. And 14-5-89 Vermont, 7-8-50 Montrose. It's a pretty comfortable lead still to the Eagles at the moment.
It wasn't so much a comeback from Montrose that was happening there, but they were certainly pressing. They were starting to slowly turn things around and maybe get the game back on their terms. But as we've seen so often this afternoon, Vermont just go down inside 450 once and they make something out of nothing and they kick the goal, and that's a good old-fashioned backbreaker. I mean, that might just break the spirit, and this game now is in danger of going either one of two ways, and I wouldn't be surprised if it completely blew out.
Well, Mullet took it from the centre clearance. Kicks up towards the Froud direction. Stretched, couldn't take the mark. Well done there by Lingering. Got the handball away to Johnson, and now they've linked up okay here on the far side. Garthwaite backtracks inside forward 50 or thereabouts. The kick goes. Taylor, the big man. Oh, he's versatile, isn't he? Gets down very low and takes a good mark. They'll be on for the switch here if they can spot it up. Millhouse, there was lacked a little bit of talk there from the fellow Vermont teammates as Rickard takes the mark. Sam has to go back on his line. So Taylor just putting himself in the right spot about 20 metres out from goal. Short pass to Johnson was good. So he takes it on the 50, so he'll kick from just outside.
I just like the
got
way
about 4.5 metres.
Yeah, I just like the way that Vermont have at least made some changes to their setups, whereas Montrose have just gone back to the same old all the time. And you know, this bloke's the one that's probably had to do it all for them, I think.
Yeah, I think he's comfortably been their best player, Brett Johnson, this afternoon.
He's going to back himself here as well. 2 goals thus far. Plays on, swings around on the left boot, has it, got the distance right to the top of the goal square, touch through, and another rush behind. There's been a few of those for Montrose today. 27 minutes gone on the Bendigo Bank scoreboard. 14 goals, 5, 89, 7-9, 51.
Jacob Castricum, he's almost been one of the recruits of the year in Division 1. I mean, not a lot gets spoken about him across from the Knox Falcons. He is as solid a fullback as you'll see in Division 1.
Emily with the ball at fullback. Short finds Barden. Just happy to slow down play. Kicks back to Johns. Johns has got Johnson on short. He's got Millhouse shorter and decides to go to the ladder. And he kicks back. Finds Barden. Just racking up the Supercoach points at the moment. Although they've turned it over, almost turned it over. Emily gets out of jail, tries to use his pace. He won't go anywhere. Nice corralling there from Causa. In the end, they get the disposal away, although they put themselves under a fair bit of pressure. Won't matter, though, because that's 3/4 time here on AFL Game Day. And it's Vermont running away with this one. They lead 14-5-89. Montrose 7-9-51. We'll be back with the final term of the Division 1 qualifying final right after this on AFL Game Day.
If I'm going to have a plumber come to my place,